Hello, and welcome to this last step in your Excel training for week 7. In class, we went through step 14. When we started on this particular page, which is the loan page, we started here and we calculated how much we needed for the loan, which was the complex cost minus the down payment. The number of periods would be 12 payments per year times 30 years. And the monthly interest rate is B6 divided by this 12 here, or B4. We use the payment function. Notice there's a negative in front. And supply the correct parameters in the correct order to get that. And then the total interest paid, we use the CUMIPMT function. Again, notice the negative in front of that. And then notice here that this 1 is the start value. The E3 represents this value here is the number of periods, and then the 0 is the end of the period calculation. So continuing on, we then go to step 14, and it says reference this cell here, which is the starting date of our first payment, and then note that to get the next month, we use this formula here, which uses 3 nested functions for year, month, and day. So just to show you this over here to the side, if we said equals date, notice that it requires you to enter the year, the month, and the day. So for today, the year is 2017, the month is March, and the day is the 6th. And that returns today. The problem is we don't know on these dates here when a leap year is, if the month has 30 days or 31 days or 29 or 28 days. So we have to add a month to the previous starting date. So what we've done, I'll just go ahead and delete all that, is we use the date function, but then we nest all of these. So if we were to do equals year for this value, we'd say return that. So let me format that properly. Just do format cells, just do general. And if we equal month of this one, gives us a 3. But if we were to add 1 to it, we'd know that that was for the next month, and it would take care of everything for us. Okay, again, I need to format that as general. And then the day, we'll say equals day of this date, and that gives us a 1. So if we combine all those and nest that inside the date function, we get the next month regardless of how many days were in the previous month. So here's where that +1 takes place. All right, now that's where we got to in class. And so what we were doing is filling out the rest of this amortization schedule. So I'm going to go ahead and delete the rest of this below, just so you can see how we came up with it. So if we look at cell D11, we see that's our beginning balance. That's how much we own. The interest paid, we use a formula called IPMT. And you can see that the arguments for that are E4, which is the interest, then B11, which is the payment number, and then E3, which is the number of payments, and then E2, which is our starting amount. Notice that's all fixed, and then this is mixed, this is mixed, this is fixed, that fixed, and then the only thing that changes here is this payment number off to the side. So that tells us of this payment here, this amount, $4,354.17, went toward interest. And we can use another formula called P payment, that principal payment, that calculates the amount of this value, this monthly payment, how much principal went to pay off this debt on the beginning balance. So we have that. And then the ending balance is nothing more than the beginning balance minus the principal paid. And so we have that. We've seen how to calculate the date. So the beginning balance of the next period is nothing more than the ending balance of the previous period. So we just make a cell reference for that. I do the payment again. It's the same formula again, except now it's B12 is the thing that's allowed to change. And same thing for the principal payment. And so once I've got this going, I can copy all of this down to my 24 cells, or in my case, I copied it down all 360. And if I scroll to the bottom here, scroll up a little, you can see that the ending balance on a 360th payment is 0. And that's how you check and see if you did everything correctly. I'll scroll back up to the top. Let you see that. And that ends that portion for this amortization section. Now the last section asks for, that takes us through steps 17 and 18. So step 19 says, okay, in cell I4, this cell, insert a financial function to calculate the present value of the total monthly rent you would collect for the 8 units. So if I could rent each unit for $2,000, how much money would that be worth in present value terms? And so using that, and I'll just do it under here, I'll say equals present value. The rate is if I could earn the same interest rate as what I'm currently having to use to pay, and the number of periods, that'll be for 360, and the payment would be, since this is outflow, this 2,000 times the 8, because that's how much money I'm taking in, $16,000 a month. That'll be worth $3,067,206.31. So that's what I could potentially make from this investment. I'll go ahead and delete that. And then it asks you to do, it says set your margins and make sure that the report row repeats this row the row 10 on every sheet. So if I go up to the page layout, I can then go to my margins, set that at 0.5. I'll come over to sheet, rows to repeat at top. This row, I do a print preview, and let's see, move that over a little. If you can see that, go back, I must have some kind of fit to one page there. So I'll do this adjust to, let's make it, say 90%. 95 is fine. Print preview. So now you see that on the first page, we're repeating this row on every subsequent page. So I'll scroll down to the next page, and you can see as I go down, that's what it's doing. And that ends doing the last portion of the training in class.